Meet Alex, a young Taurus born into a world of struggle. From the very beginning, life seemed to throw one obstacle after another their way. The small house where Alex grew up was cramped and filled with the sound of daily hardship. Their parents, hardworking yet barely making ends meet, did their best to create a sense of normalcy. But despite their love and effort, the weight of poverty was ever present. As a Taurus, Alex inherited traits that would become their greatest strengths: determination, a steadfast nature, and an ability to stay grounded in the face of adversity. Even as a child, Alex knew the importance of stability, something that seemed so elusive. The family's financial situation was always unstable, and luxuries like new clothes or toys were distant dreams. But Alex didn't mind. They learned early on to make do with what little they had and found comfort in simplicity. In a neighborhood where many others seemed to give up or resign themselves to their fate, Alex remained focused. The road ahead was uncertain, but one thing was clear: giving up wasn't an option. The Taurus spirit, patient yet strong, was something Alex carried in their heart every day. And while they were surrounded by challenges, Alex's determination to rise above the poverty that defined their early years would ultimately guide them toward a future of success. Early struggles and setbacks. Growing up in a neighborhood where opportunities were few, Alex faced an uphill battle from the very start. School was a place where Alex excelled, but not always in the ways that others noticed. While the other kids had tutors, extracurricular activities, and the latest gadgets, Alex had books that were secondhand and shoes that were well worn. But these material differences didn't discourage them; in fact, they drove Alex to push harder. However, the first real setback came when Alex's father fell ill. With medical bills piling up and no one to help, Alex's family was pushed deeper into financial instability. Their mother worked multiple jobs, but the strain was taking its toll on her health too. The emotional and financial weight was heavy, but Alex refused to let their family fall apart. As a Taurus, Alex found solace in routine and hard work. They took on odd jobs after school, delivering groceries, cleaning houses, and even helping the local mechanic, all to support their parents. But no matter how hard Alex worked, it seemed like the odds were always stacked against them. In their final year of high school, Alex's mother had a severe accident, and their father's health took a turn for the worse. The financial burden was overwhelming, and there were nights when Alex lay awake, wondering how they would ever escape this life. Yet, despite these struggles, Alex didn't waver. There were moments of self-doubt, certainly, but they always returned to the fact that they had the ability to endure. In fact, it was during these tough times that Alex's Taurus nature began to shine brighter than ever. Instead of seeking shortcuts, Alex learned the value of patience and steady effort. They became more resourceful, learning to make do with even less and prioritizing their family's needs over their own. The weight of their circumstances pushed Alex to become resourceful, making sacrifices that would lay the groundwork for the future. But every time it seemed like Alex had taken one step forward, something would pull them back. Financial setbacks, lost job opportunities, and an overwhelming sense of failure became frequent companions. It was as if the universe was testing their resolve at every turn. But no matter how many times Alex stumbled, they always picked themselves up and kept moving forward. The lessons learned from each setback only made them more determined to succeed. As a Taurus, Alex understood that success wasn't about taking shortcuts; it was about perseverance, slow progress, and never giving up on the long-term vision. The turning point. Despite the relentless struggle, a turning point came for Alex when they least expected it. One fateful evening, after working a 14-hour shift at a local diner, Alex was walking home when they encountered an older man who had noticed them working tirelessly night after night. This man, named Mr. Richards, was a former entrepreneur who had built and lost a small business in his youth. He had seen countless young people come and go, but Alex's perseverance and work ethic caught his eye. He stopped Alex and struck up a conversation, sensing something special in them. Alex, a little taken aback but grateful for the opportunity to talk, listened intently as Mr. Richards shared his story. He told Alex about his own failures, the pain of losing everything, but also about how he managed to rise again. He spoke of the power of resilience, smart decision-making, and the importance of learning from every setback. He encouraged Alex not to give up but to find a way to leverage their determination in a more focused direction. It wasn't an immediate shift, but that conversation planted a seed in Alex's mind. For the first time in years, Alex started to believe that maybe they could do more than just survive; they could thrive. This was the spark they needed to begin thinking differently about their future. With renewed purpose, Alex took the advice to heart. They realized that while their relentless hard work had gotten them far, they needed a more strategic approach to escape the cycle of poverty. They needed to start thinking long-term and focus on building something sustainable, rather than constantly reacting to the immediate pressures of survival. It wasn't just about working harder, it was about working smarter. For a Taurus, this realization was monumental. They didn't want to take risks without understanding the consequences, but the desire for stability and success was now stronger than ever. Alex knew it was time to change their approach. In the weeks that followed, Alex dedicated themselves to learning. They started reading books on personal finance, business development, and self-discipline. They even sought out online courses, using their limited resources to invest in knowledge that would one day pay off. It was a slow process, but the determination that had carried them through the toughest years of their life was now being channeled into creating a plan for their future. And then, just when things seemed to be falling into place, another challenge arose. Alex's father passed away unexpectedly. It was a devastating blow, one that threatened to undo all of the progress Alex had made. But, for the first time in years, Alex didn't retreat. Instead, they used the grief to fuel their determination. They promised themselves that they would make their father proud by building the life they had always dreamed of. They realized that no matter the setbacks, nothing could stop them from working toward a brighter future. With this newfound clarity and the memory of Mr. Richards' advice, Alex began applying for jobs that aligned with their long-term goals. They took small, calculated risks, starting their own small online business selling handcrafted goods, a passion project that allowed them to tap into their creativity and earn money in a way that felt meaningful. The turning point wasn't just about a single event, it was about Alex's shift in mindset. They had gone from merely surviving to actively building a path to success. The lessons they had learned from the challenges of their past were now being used to guide them toward a future filled with possibilities. And though the road ahead was still uncertain, Alex's unwavering determination, so characteristic of their Taurus nature, was now guiding them toward success in ways they had never imagined. The road to success. Alex's journey toward success was never a straight path. Now with a clear vision and determination that had become unshakable, they threw themselves into the work of building a future from scratch. But there was no shortcut to the success they dreamed of. Alex knew that their Taurus nature, marked by patience and practicality, would be their most valuable assets. The first step was creating a solid financial foundation. Alex took up a full-time job as a customer service representative while still running their small online business selling handcrafted goods during the evenings. Each day began early and ended late, but Alex never complained. The work was tiring, but the end goal, financial independence, was what kept them going. They knew it would take time, and the slow progress was okay because they were building something sustainable. In the first few months, there were countless setbacks. Sales were slow, and Alex often found themselves questioning if they were doing enough. At times, the online business felt like a small candle fighting against a strong wind. But Alex remained grounded. As a Taurus, they knew the value of perseverance, and even in moments of doubt, they refused to give up. One of the pivotal moments came when Alex stumbled upon a marketing book about building a personal brand. They had always focused on the product, but now they realized that to stand out, they needed to sell not just their goods, but themselves. So, Alex began dedicating time to crafting their brand, focusing on the story behind their handcrafted items. They shared their journey, growing up in poverty, working tirelessly to build something meaningful, and now, helping others do the same. This connection to their own story resonated with people, and soon, the orders started to pick up. But the work didn't stop there. Alex understood that building a successful business wasn't just about selling products, it was about customer service, creating an experience, and building relationships. They poured their heart into every transaction, ensuring that every customer felt valued. Alex began going above and beyond, offering personalized products, writing thank you notes, and even sharing tips on how to live a more mindful and creative life. The personal touch made a difference. The business started to grow. With more success came more responsibility. Alex hired a small team of helpers to manage orders and customer inquiries. The next step was reinvesting profits into expanding the business. They invested in higher quality materials for their products, hired a professional photographer to take beautiful product photos, and even created a small website to showcase their brand more professionally. They continued to grow, but with the same determination that had carried them through the hardest parts of their life. However, the real challenge came when Alex decided to expand their business beyond just online sales. They wanted to open a small store, a physical space that would allow them to interact with customers in person and showcase their journey to success. It was a huge risk. Alex had to take out a loan, put up all their savings, and take on debt in the process. The fear of failure was immense. But Alex, being a Taurus, was willing to take calculated risks. They had learned from their setbacks and knew that this was the right step forward. Opening the store wasn't easy. The first few months were tough, and there were days when Alex questioned whether they had made a mistake. But then, just when things seemed the hardest, a breakthrough happened. The local community began to notice Alex's shop. Word spread quickly, and the store became a hub for people looking for unique, handcrafted items. Alex's story of resilience, of rising from poverty to achieve something meaningful, touched the hearts of many. As the business continued to grow, Alex hired more staff and began offering workshops on entrepreneurship, helping others learn how to start their own small businesses. The road to success had been long, but Alex now stood as a symbol of perseverance and determination. Their Taurus nature, which once kept them grounded in the darkest of times, had now helped them achieve a level of success they had never thought possible. But success didn't mean resting on their laurels. Alex continued to innovate, looking for ways to expand the business further. They began collaborating with other local artisans and began offering their products in other stores. The business flourished not just because of the hard work and dedication that Alex had invested in it, but because they had stayed true to themselves every step of the way. Now, as Alex looked back at their journey, they realized that the road to success was never about luck, it was about the choices they made, the patience they had, and the unwavering belief that they could overcome any obstacle. From the small house filled with hardship to a thriving business that now provided jobs for others, Alex had risen above the struggles of their past. And most importantly, they understood that success wasn't just about financial achievement. It was about the ability to give back, to help others who were still struggling, and to never forget where they came from. Their journey wasn't just about material wealth, it was about finding peace, purpose, and the courage to take control of their destiny. Achieving success. After years of hard work, sacrifice, and endless determination, Alex's dreams began to materialize in ways they had once only imagined. The small online business had grown into a thriving brand. Sales surged as more customers discovered the handcrafted products that Alex had poured their heart into. The personal story behind the brand, rooted in struggle and perseverance, resonated deeply with people, making Alex's business more than just a source of income, it became a symbol of what one could achieve with patience, grit, and a clear vision. It wasn't just the sales that marked Alex's success, but also the growing recognition from the community. Local events invited Alex to speak about entrepreneurship and overcoming adversity. These opportunities were a testament to how far they had come from the days of financial instability and uncertainty. For the first time, Alex felt like their story was not just a personal achievement, but a beacon for others who had felt trapped by their circumstances. The store, once a risky venture, had become a cornerstone of Alex's success. It was no longer just a place to buy products, it was a space filled with inspiration, hope, and a testament to the power of persistence. Customers not only came for the products but to hear Alex's story, to learn how someone who had once been on the brink of losing everything had managed to build something lasting. The Taurus spirit of determination, slow and steady, had carried Alex through every challenge, and now, it was paying off in ways that were beyond their wildest dreams. But financial success was not the only achievement Alex valued. They had built a reputation as a mentor and guide to others who were struggling in the same ways they once had. Alex began offering free workshops to young entrepreneurs, providing them with the same advice that had been passed on to them: work hard, stay grounded, and never give up. The sense of community that Alex had built around their business was just as important as the business itself. They were now in a position to help others rise, just as they had. There were moments of reflection, of course. Alex would sometimes pause and think back to the days when their family struggled to make ends meet, to the long hours spent working multiple jobs, to the days filled with doubt and exhaustion. Now, as they stood at the helm of a successful business, Alex felt a deep sense of gratitude. They knew that none of this would have been possible without the lessons learned from those hardships. But Alex never lost sight of their roots. The business wasn't just about profit, it was about giving back. With the success came responsibility, and Alex made it a point to donate a portion of their earnings to causes that helped those in need. They funded scholarships for underprivileged students, supported local charities, and helped fund small businesses run by people facing financial hardships. It wasn't about flaunting success, it was about ensuring that others had the opportunity to rise, just as they had. Now, with their financial future secured and their personal goals realized, Alex could look at the world with a sense of pride. They had overcome adversity, risen from poverty, and built a legacy that would endure. And yet, they remained humble. Alex knew that true success was about much more than money or recognition, it was about living with integrity, helping others, and staying true to oneself. As Alex continued to grow their business, they never forgot the lessons of their past. The road to success was not easy, but it was worth every step. With patience, persistence, and an unshakable belief in themselves, Alex had created a life they could be proud of, one that not only fulfilled their dreams but inspired others to believe that they, too, could overcome any challenge and achieve greatness. As Alex looked back on their journey, the weight of what they had accomplished began to sink in. From the days of struggling in a small, crowded house to building a business that not only provided for themselves but also helped others, the transformation was nothing short of remarkable. The road had been long, filled with obstacles, setbacks, and countless challenges. But through it all, Alex had remained steadfast, driven by the core values that defined them as a Taurus: patience, resilience, and a deep commitment to their dreams. Reflecting on those early years of hardship, Alex realized that the struggles weren't just something to overcome, they were the very foundation of their success. Each setback, each moment of doubt, had taught them something valuable. They had learned the importance of staying grounded in the face of adversity, of taking one step at a time, and never rushing to achieve success. The slow, steady growth they had experienced was the result of consistent effort, and it had paid off. Now, looking at the flourishing business, Alex understood that true success wasn't measured by wealth alone. It was about the relationships they had built, the lives they had touched, and the sense of fulfillment that came from helping others. They had not just achieved their personal goals, but had become an inspiration for others, proof that anyone, no matter where they started, could rise above their circumstances. The Taurus spirit, once a quiet force within Alex, had proven to be the driving factor behind their success. It wasn't about being the loudest or fastest to reach the top, it was about staying true to their path, even when the world around them seemed uncertain. And now, as Alex stood on the other side of their struggles, they knew that the journey had been worth every sacrifice. They had created something lasting, something that would continue to grow and evolve, just as they had. In conclusion, Alex's story is a testament to the power of perseverance and the unwavering belief that hard work and determination will eventually lead to success. It is a reminder that no matter how difficult the road may seem, those who are willing to stay patient, remain grounded, and believe in themselves will find a way to overcome any obstacle. Alex had not only risen from poverty but had built a legacy that would inspire others for generations to come.